All right, now that Hunter's showed you the operation of 1511S, I'm going to discuss a little bit about the features and the dip switch settable and the actual operation of the 1511S unit. The 1511S and the double door unit, the 1511T, both work on a little bit of door movement. There's no real connection between the exit bar and the lock. It will work on just door movement as long as you have latching hardware on the door. Within the lock, I have a sensor, proximity type Hall effect sensor, that is looking for this target. And in combination with the armature mounting plate, the mounting plate allows the target to move away from the face of the lock when the door still stays locked, but provides movement. This is what triggers our lock and puts it into delayed egress. Hunter mentioned the dip switches. What we have here are the dip switch selections. Switch number 1 is either the 15 or 30 exit delay release time. Depending on code, if you have a fixed 15-second unit, this switch does not work. It'll just be 15 seconds only. It does not give you the option of 30 seconds. Nuisance time, most code jurisdictions are either 0 or 1 second. So this will give you a choice between the 0 and the 1. Request to exit is the actual authorized time to go out the door in, let's say, a nursing care facility home where the nurses and doctors have a code on the inside. They can put in their code, the lock will unlock, and it will not alarm. Trigger type, in the normal situation, we use our internal built-in motion trigger based on a little movement of the armature and the target. If you do not have latching hardware on your door, then we need you to use the MSB or a PSB bar as a switch bar and use that as a trigger. That way it does not false trigger with movement. Power up option is also dependent upon the code setting. Quite often, especially in California, it's required that after a power loss to the unit is manually reset at the door by personnel. This is the one Hunter talked about as far as tone and voice. This unit can just do 3 different types of tones depending on the state of the unit, or it will do voice, and then the 2 choices with voice are the male voice or the female voice. Okay, go over here to show you the real basic connection for a single door. As you see here, that the basic connection for this is just power, and if I want my internal keypad to allow authorized egress from that door, we can connect that to our lock, to the REX input. In addition to that, since our keypad, the 918, has 2 relays, I can use one for the REX and a different code for a reset. So that'll be tied into the reset input. Another way to do that is like our 728 switch. Give you the same function as the built-in key switch, providing a reset and a bypass. The next type of setup is the patient protection system, where you have an infant protection system or some of the wandering patient systems. In these systems, the lock is generally unlocked, and the only time that it goes in, the only time it locks and would go into alarm is when someone carrying the baby with a bracelet, in the case of the infant protection system, or the wandering patient system, the lock will lock down when the bracelet comes into range. And if the person continues to try to exit with that child, or the patient tries to go out, the unit will go into alarm and restrain them for the 15 or 30 seconds. All right, next setup would be your double door, and this is where we provide the 1511T or tandem unit. The 1511T tandem unit is composed of a 1511S which is the master unit with its normal connections, and a similar sized magnet for the second door with reduced electronics, just providing control of the magnet and a sensor. So the sensor on the second door reports back to the master unit to cause either door of the two-door set to go into alarm and release at the end of the time. So the simplest connection between these two is just 4 wires between the 1511S master and the 1511T slave. And that's just about it.